What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. This is episode number 2 and today I'll be talking about my favorite class that I have taken so far in DPT school, and it's called Basic Sciences 3. So BS3 is my favorite class that I have taken so far for many different reasons, but I think above anything else it's a course that requires a lot of hands-on learning. You get to apply concepts and skills that you've only learned in theory for the first part of our program, so it's a very fun class. So now I'm going to dive a little deeper into what BS3 really looks like. I would say it's like a 60-40 split between labs and lectures. You get to learn stuff in lectures before lunch, and then stuff that you've learned that day, you get to apply that concept and build on that after you come back from lunch. So a good example would be learning about the knee. We would learn about the anatomy, some of the pathologies that could happen around the knee, and maybe some osteokinematics, arthrokinematics, and biomechanics of how our knee joint works. And then when we come back from lunch, that's when we would practice manual therapy on each other and really get to apply these concepts. So we have 3 lecture exams and 5 lab practicals throughout the block, and it's a 3-month long block without any breaks and a lot of studying. So I guess what I'm trying to say is you get to develop your own strategies and coping mechanisms for having to deal with this sort of information that you need to know for the exams and practicals. And you also need to be able to balance your life out, right? On top of everything that's going on in school. So it's a good learning opportunity, I think. Okay, so that was the basic logistics of BS3, and now I'm going to dive deeper into what we actually learn in class. And a lot of it has to do with our musculoskeletal system. So another big part of our musculoskeletal system is our muscles, right? We learned during anatomy the origins, insertions, actions, and innervations of all these muscles. And now we kind of get to put them all together during Basic Sciences 3. Alright, so I think a good example of that is our shoulder and its dynamic stability. So our shoulders rely more on the muscles that are attached to our shoulders, as opposed to other joints that rely more on the passive structures like the bones, the ligaments, and all that good stuff. We also learn a lot about basic screening tools like manual muscle testing, goniometry, and reflex testing, as well as some myotome and dermatome testing. And this is really good because when we see a patient for the first time and we perform these basic evaluation tests, we then know what to focus on going forward with that patient and what to test more. So this is my reflex hammer. We practice reflex testing on each other, and we basically have to perform some reflex testing during our practicals. And this is my goniometer, measure angles with this one. So during practicals, our professors kind of want to see if we can perform these skills on them, the patients, and if we can communicate with them properly and professionally. So BS3 also taught us some of the basic neuro exams, like cranial nerve testing, all 12 of them, and we also had to assess the muscle tones actively and passively for our patients. And this was good because we got to interact with real patients that came in for the day. They were amazing in terms of giving us feedback and letting us test them in some of the stuff that we're just learning. So very appreciative of that. And lastly, we learned about gait and some of the pathologic gait deviations that we might see in patients that have muscle weakness or extensibility issues and stuff like that. So that was another big part of BS3. Alright, so I basically did a rundown of the things that I learned in Basic Sciences 3. This was my 3rd block or 3rd class since starting DPT school, and I hope you guys found that helpful. And if you like the content and like what you're seeing, please click like and subscribe, and I'll be back with more videos. Thanks for watching.